This Sun-Gazette video coverage is proudly sponsored by Woodlands Bank.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sports Talk here at the Williamsport Sun-Gazette. I'm your sports editor, Jon Gerardi, alongside Henry Huber, sports reporter. And obviously Henry was we both were at some wrestling last weekend, and we're just going to kind of quick hit here on the sectional tournament and then kind of go right into a district preview. You know, obviously some big storylines come out of the central sectional. Obviously Montgomery winning the team title and had 10 qualifiers for districts. You had Caden Rhode Armel winning his first gold medal for Loyal Sox since his freshman year. Braden Vincenz picking up win number 100. Yes, Babotis and Kennedy with some tough brackets to fight through. So a lot to kind of get in there. Let's kind of start kind of with Loyal Sox pair of wrestlers there with Caden and Braden. You know, how nice was it, do you think, for those two to be able to both kind of reach some milestones like that on the same day together?
It was, yeah. I mean, not just that they did so on the same day, but I mean, Vincenz he follows up Caden, who very recently surpassed 100 as well. Yep. Each talked about how special that was, and I mean, they when I asked Rottermill about it, he was quick to mention Ivan Baker, the freshman that took home the title at 114.
Yeah.
So I mean, even with them not only featuring 5 guys, there was still a lot of positives to take away from it.
Yeah, as I say, kind of a banner day for Loyal Sox to have them moving on. You know, like we said, we'll kind of touch on Montgomery here when we get to the district breakdown, but you know, for Telly, David Kennedy, they both had some tough brackets to get through. That was one of your features this week. Just talk about just what they kind of had to get through to medal and do what they did.
So, I mean, Telly, the big thing about his run was that he overcame a guy that had beaten him 3 times last year, in Benton's Seth Cobb. So, I mean, the fact that he was able to overcome that, I mean, not just overcome it, but he kind of controlled the entire match. It just goes to show how much work he's put in over the last year. I mean, same goes for David. And he had placed second twice in his past 2 sectionals, and kind of cruised through this bracket as well. Had to face number 17 Anthony Barra of Bloomsburg.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was just, I mean, he rolled through some really good wrestlers, very impressive.
Yeah, I was gonna say for Taylor too to beat Seth, to get that win after he beat him multiple times last year. You got to think that's gonna give him a lot of motivation to get for districts coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yes, and he is. I mean, I would go as far as saying Seth, if they run into each other again, that would probably be his biggest challenge there. I mean, so that should go to show where the expectations are for him.
Let's kind of pivot here now to the district tournament coming up. Starts Friday, 5 p.m. at Williamsport with the first round and consolation round, and then we go right into it Saturday morning, 9 a.m. at the Magic Dome. Let's kind of start with 152 and kind of get into that, because there's 152, 160, 189, a lot of ranked wrestlers there with a lot of good matchups throughout.
100%. And with 152, the big thing to keep an eye on is Cameron Milheim and Gage are on separate sides, or Gage Winslow are on separate sides of the bracket. I mean, ranked number 4 and number 5 in the state respectively. They matched up in a dual meet about a month ago, and I mean, really good match. Milheim just scraped by, I think 3 to 1 by decision.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah. If they get to the final, that's gonna be one to definitely watch.
100%. And I mean, Gage has been gaining a lot of momentum since losing to Milheim in January. So. That'll be very interesting to see the rematch.
Yeah. Kind of 160, there's, I mean, like we said, 160, 150, 152, 160, 189, a lot of talent throughout those fields. So let's kind of go into 160, the 160 bracket. What do you kind of, I guess who do we kind of look? Who should we look for in that one?
Obviously, Connor Hare is heavy favorite there. He's actually I want to say he is two wins away from either tying or surpassing the district the record for career wins in District 4, which I mean is obviously a very huge accomplishment to keep an eye out for. So I mean, the theme is similar to sectionals. You kind of want to avoid his side of the bracket. But there are like 4 or 5 guys that rank within the I want to say the 18 to 25 range. So that battle for like medaling is going to be very interesting as well.
With Connor, I mean, he's within like 2 or so of getting that record, and to think too, we're just in districts, so he's got regionals to build on it. Like if he makes a run to win the state title, he's going to put that record pretty far out there. And I'm sure if you ask Connor, he'll say, "Well, Brant's going to break it in 2 years anyway." So it's crazy to think that that Connor's that good. He's going to put the record out there, and then Brant's just 2 years behind him. Boom, boom. He's going to just so he'll get the record, and then his brother's going to beat it.
Yeah, I mean Brant. I want to say he is like within 10 wins of 100 as a sophomore.
That's just
which
ridiculous.
Is just absurd. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's kind of go to 189 though. Like you said, a good few ranked wrestlers in that. Who do we have ranked in that field?
So, I mean, similar story to 160. You want to avoid Garrett Garcia at all costs. He's number 3 out of Southern Colombia. It'll be a similar bag to 160s. Like you have Quay Bryson at number 23. You have Caden Rottermill, who's like just a couple slots ahead of him. They went toe to toe in sectionals, so that's a rematch to keep an eye on. You've got like 2 or 3 other guys that fall within the same range. I'm trying to think. I mean, I know there are more. Isaiah Betts. Isaiah Betts is interesting as like he's number 25 from Warrior Run. So I mean, that's just placing is going to be hard in that bracket.
Yeah, I know. 2 years ago, Caden missed out on getting to regionals. He kind of said he didn't wrestle that well through district. Last year, he got to states. No doubt that he wants to get back there again and do better.
100%. I mean, both him and Braden. I mean, this is their final run in it. So I'm sure they're going to give it 110%, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. You got Muncie's Austin Johnson at 215. Obviously, he won a title last year. You got to think he's, same type of thing where he wants to get back and kind of repeat and duplicate that success. 100%. I mean, and he was pretty dominant at sectionals. Faced off against Cole Yonkin, who's number 13, which, by the way, he's actually he's slated. I mean, with 1 win, he will surpass 100 too.
Okay,
so
nice.
That's something to keep an ing on.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was Cole gave it his all, and it was still Austin was still very, very dominant there, which is crazy.
Yeah. A quick little sidebar. I mean, I feel like this year we've had a good few 100-win milestones. Caden got it, Braden. You mentioned Cole's 1 away. Brant's crazily within a few as a sophomore. Kayvon Shams at South, I know, hit the milestone. There's probably a few I'm forgetting, so my apologies. But a good few reached that milestone this year, which is nice to see.
Yeah, no, true. I think did you say Ryan Casella?
Oh, Casella, yeah.
And I think Chase Shaner out of Hughesville, he's like, I think he may. He'd have to make a bit of a run. He might hit it in regionals, but I think he's at like 93, 94.
Okay. Yeah, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Let's get into the last round here on 285. Before we started, you kind of mentioned had some interesting weight matchups as well.
It's Ryan Casella figures to be the favorite there. He comes in at number 10 in 285, but he's going to have some bigger challenges than he faced amidst his sectional title run. He ran into Aiden Hidley of Central Columbia in that title, and that was it could have gone either way. It was took a late escape for Ryan to pull it out. he figures to face. I think there's a guy that's ranked number 16 and a guy that's ranked number 17.
Okay.
I don't know the names, but yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see what he does there.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have a lot of great matches there to watch on Saturday. You know, I was at the last week at the District 4-9 Class AAA Championships, and you know, Brock Weiss started the match with an 8-second pin in his first one.
Oh my gosh!
38-second pin in his second, and then he had another fall. It was in the second period, I believe. But he's undefeated. He's just motivated. You know, I talked to him about last year's disappointment and missing weights and all that, and he kind of said, I kind of put that in the rearview mirror. I'm focusing on this year. I'm just having fun, and if his version of having fun is real fast falls, and he's having a blast out there. He'll be one to look for or one to keep an eye on this week at the Northwest Class AAA Regional. Zach Powell will be there, Lock Haven editor. Then we got that. You got Colin Nasdio from Williamsport, who won gold, Lauger Waldman from Williamsport, and Narik Burks. Narik had a really, really great match against Selinsgrove's Tucker Teets. 6-6 going into overtime, and Burks had him on back. He tried to flip him, and Teets was able to just work it out, get 2 quick points, and ended it there. So, Burks said he jokingly he sighed and said he was disappointed he didn't win, but he's still going on. And then he said, I kind of like losing, which is something you don't really hear a lot of people say. But he said it motivates them and gives them something to kind of to work for and to better. So he's more than motivated at the regionals now to be able to knock Teets out and get that gold medal, because him and Nasdio both last year finished 6th at regionals, so they both want to get up higher on that podium, qualify for states, make a deep run. So those are two Williamsport wrestlers who were going to make a nice run. And Weiss, obviously, and Central Mountain has, I think, 10 going to regionals, because they're just a ridiculous program in and of itself. So there's a lot of action to watch there at both those regionals, the regionals and districts. So give Henry a follow at @HenryHuber_ on Twitter. Give Zach one at Real Zach Powell. So they'll give you tons of coverage for that. And then 2 weeks from now, we'll have the girls' Central Regional, which will be fun to watch that. We'll break that down a little bit next week then.
Yeah.
But so that'll do it for us. And make sure you get out to the Magic Dome if you want to see some good wrestling this weekend.